Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another of our podcasts. Okay,
Hello.
not got a specific subject tonight, so we're just going to have a chat about some things, give you an update on things that are coming, and just see where it leads us. Really.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So, I thought we'd start with a bit of an update on a few things.
Yep.
Just have a chat about that. We could say the name now, can't we? Winton House. Winton House. So we finished all our investigations there. The property's now been sold. I had to go back there today to drop some keys off, and I just had a quick walk round.
Yeah.
Still feels quite spooky. I had to go down into the cellar because I had to put some of the lifts back on. The lift motor was off,
Right.
which is down in the cellar. I sort of got down in there, and it felt a bit dark down in there this time. It really did. I mean, I felt nothing much last time, but down in there on my own this time, it was like, ooh, don't like this. Feels a bit weird.
Can you do any investigating?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I was sort of in work mode, so I was just carrying on. But yeah, it was nice just to have a look round.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens with that place. I know it's going to be empty for a little while, but they've got lots of security and stuff going in there, so there'll be sort of people around there keeping it safe. But yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I needed to talk to you about is Randonautica.
Randonautica.
So we did a little video on Randonautica the other day. We weren't very successful with it, but I think we've both agreed we ought to give it another shot.
Yep.
So
It's going to be in the dark this time.
yeah,
At night.
okay.
Do it at night.
I'm not taking my car down any tracks in the dark if that's where it decides to take us.
No.
Because I nearly got stuck last time, and I'm not getting stuck in the dark down a track.
No, that's fine. I reckon if we do it, so we do it again, and then maybe widen that circle just a little bit. I'll drive if I have to as well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind.
I'm not pushing either.
No, it's fine.
Get stuck.
But I reckon we should give it another go.
Yeah, I think the app deserves another go. I mean, there's a lot of hype online about it that says it's really good, does this, does that, and we didn't really get anything with it. But it was our first time, and you know, everything deserves a second shot. So we're going to give that another go shortly.
The thing I had, it wasn't a problem for me, and it wasn't a problem. It was just that every time we put it in, it sent us to a farm.
Yeah.
And I was just like, is it doing it on purpose? Because I wasn't thinking about a farm.
No, nor was I.
And there's no way I was going to be thinking about going to a farm using Randonautica. And it just seemed a bit, you know, not suspicious is the word. It just seemed a bit repetitive. It's always sending us to.
Yeah. I think, like you say, we need to give it another go, and it'll be make or break this time. We'll give it 3 attempts when we're out there, 3 different settings, 3 different tries, and see where it takes us.
Yeah, seriously.
So we've got a weekend coming up soon, Dave.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things left to catch up on. What are you thinking this weekend? If we get some time, where should we go?
I think we should do the farmhouse.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I really do.
So the old farmhouse is over on Salisbury Plain. The story with it is really that there used to be obviously it was a farm originally, and then the military took over the land. I can't remember the dates, but the pit, basically the people who owned the farm had to move out and leave. Military were sort of bought the property off them. They didn't have a choice, and they had to leave it there. So in a way, it's a bit like Imber and a lot of the other villages like that they were compulsory purchased by the military for whatever reasons.
And it was our first investigation.
Yeah, it was the first place we ever went and tried, wasn't it? And we did have some it was funny because I had a camera there on a phone, and we actually got some quite interesting stuff, and my camera just went mental.
It was. So you have to realise back then, that was, like I said, it was our first investigation. We went there armed with 2 cameras, phone cameras, and a digital recorder and an app.
Yeah.
And there were some things coming through on that night. And that was back in summer 2019.
Yeah, it's quite a while back.
And I'm thinking now, with a bit more kit that we've got, it'd be a good time to do the investigation. I mean, we've got the necrophonics.
Yeah.
And the beauty about the farmhouses is where it's empty, completely empty, I'm going to bring the SLS camera.
Yeah.
So so it doesn't track.
There's nothing for it to track in there. No.
As such.
No.
So I think it's a good opportunity to try the SLS camera out.
Yeah.
As well. And like I said, necrophonics should have the cat balls turn up by then.
Okay, that'll be cool.
I think going into it now, this time, armed with a little bit more kit, I reckon we'll get
something.
Get a few more responses from the start. Fingers crossed, anyway.
Yeah. So that's going to be either this Saturday or Sunday. Then we'll get ourselves up there.
Yeah,
that'll be good. Okay. What else have we got going on at the moment?
We've got lots coming up.
So we've got. We keep saying it. We've got to finish off the. Oh God, I've gone blank.
Wayland
Smithy. Got that to finish. We've got Savanac Forest, where we're doing a bit of a sort of Bigfoot investigation. Is there anything around in here? Dave don't believe in Bigfoot.
It's not that I don't believe it. It's just that I never.
Well, I haven't seen one.
It's one of them for me. I'm gonna actually have to see it in front of me for me to actually believe it.
Yeah.
It's just one of them. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that's it.
You're probably never going to be a believer then, Dave, because I doubt very much we're going to see one. We might hear one. You never know.
Well, you'll see me.
But I'm more interested in just seeing, because obviously Savanac Forest is a very old wood. Obviously lots of things have gone on over there in the years. So it'd just be interesting to see if we get anything at all there. And you were talking
about that now.
You were talking to me earlier about something, this sensory deprivation thing.
Yes. So in the farmhouse on Saturday, to broaden our options and investigations and all that. And I know that the ESTA method has been. I've done the sensory deprivation before years ago at the Jamaica Inn, but we never used the necrophonics when we did it. It was just. You take away your hearing, you take away your sight, and you just sit there in the dark asking questions. And I just think to just broaden, our investigating techniques, it would be because it's something I've wanted to try for a few weeks.
Yeah.
It's just that we haven't really been in. Well, we could have done it in Winton, but but I think it's a good time just to try it out.
Sounds interesting.
I mean, I'll do it.
I'll give it a go. I'll definitely give it a go.
I mean, like loan investigations in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It'd be worth going in there with it like that.
Yeah.
Kind of scenario. It just kind of broadens the investigation kind of techniques that we have, and may give, if there is any spirits there, more kind of opportunity to kind of communicate with us.
Yeah.
So.
No, me, I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
And you said you've got some cat balls coming, so we're moving into the modern world. I didn't even know what cat balls were until Dave told me.
Yeah,
so,
I got some of them coming, so they're just like, well, you know what they are, don't you?
Yeah, I know what they are now.
Sensory kind of.
Yeah.
Which flash up, which would be another tool that we
another
could
thing
use.
we can use.
So yeah, it'd be another. Like I said, just another tool that we could use.
Yeah.
In investigations.
Yeah, so we've got a few bits to go and film and finish off, and then coming towards Christmas time, we are going. We've got permission. It's a place I can't tell you the name of to start with, but we've got permissions to go into some really, really old cellars. Okay, they are really, really old in a very, very old building. they are reputed to be haunted. There's been several different stories from over the years, which we'll fill you in with as much as we can without giving the identity of the building away. But we're both really looking forward to that. So that's going to be something new that will be coming up fairly shortly. Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
There's a lot coming up.
We sort of sit and have a chat about things, and then you get nothing for a while. Then all of a sudden, it seems to be everything. Everything needs to be happening.
Yeah.
And then it just goes quiet again, doesn't it? Doesn't it, for a while?
It does. I mean, we've got plenty to keep us going, especially like investigation-wise. We've got the Sunlight Forest, which is Bigfoot stroke ghost.
Yeah.
It should be a good one.
Yeah.
There is a crop circle one which we filmed back a couple of months ago. I've edited it, and it's uploaded to YouTube, but I haven't made it public yet. Where we just went to the Crop Circle Museum over at Alton Barnes.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of little different bits.
Yeah.
Richard's even got a ghost story he did for.
Yeah, a little while back, did a little ghost story.
So I've got to edit that up as well. There's plenty to keep us going. There's plenty coming up. Whether it's investigation wise, whether it's ghost stories, whether it's a home investigation. There's plenty coming up for you guys. So
that's good. So I wanted to just talk to you about something.
Yes.
Something I've been thinking about the other day, which I thought we could have a discussion about. So you often hear of people saying they've been possessed by ghosts.
Right.
Or possessed by something.
Yeah.
So the whole thing of possession is something that intrigues me.
Right.
On that. Do you think that a ghost can actually, when we go out and we hunt ghosts, we're looking to find those spirits. Do you think those spirits can actually take over your body?
In a certain respect, yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe that they could. I don't want to say possess or take over. I want to say they can channel their emotions.
Yeah.
So to speak, through you.
Yeah.
Or try and project their thoughts onto you.
Yeah.
So that's, that kind of scenario.
Okay.
That's what I kind of go on myself. Whether they could, I'm pretty sure they probably could. I think I've seen.
I think it must be really. Most of the spirits that, if we've encountered any spirits, who knows? I mean, it's all sort of a bit of hearsay, isn't it? But we think we've encountered some spirits along the way. I certainly do.
Yeah. But
I've never encountered anything that's strong enough that it felt it could actually take you over or become, I mean, that's, to me, that's the stuff that you see on horror films and things like that. And most spirits, they seem to run out of energy very, very quickly. I mean, the amount of energy they must need to virtually inhabit your body.
Yeah.
I just think that must be a very specific, incredible type of spirit that's able to do that.
What I said?
If they are able to do it.
Yeah, if they were able to do it. Yeah. But you remember when I said in certain investigations you can use my energy if needs be?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going back. I'm going to give you two instances.
Okay.
So the first instance, I'm going to go North Newton.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the way it made me feel. Felt angry. Uptight.
Yeah, I remember you said you felt angry. Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm the most placid guy ever.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Apart from when I have a bad day at work. But, I was feeling angry, agitated. I was off. I was very sketchy compared to what I normally am.
Yeah.
So in my head, that was, say, a spirit that was probably maybe trying to channel their energy on me.
Yeah.
So here's another instance. This is the more positive side of it. When I was with the last team and we went off to investigate No Fort in Weymouth.
Yeah.
And there's a bit in there, and it's like a little museum, kind of. It's set up as in like there's a load of soldiers from. It's like a naffy kind of bar.
I know it. Yeah. Excuse me.
And we investigated in there, and I started to get emotional.
Yeah.
Like sad, emotional. You know, it was almost like I was feeling somebody else's feelings. Is how I can. It's the best way I can put it. And they were kind of sad feelings.
Yeah.
And when we started to investigate, I was like, "Are you like?" Well, because it was a lone investigation anyway.
Yeah.
So I was in there by myself, and I started asking questions. I said, "Are you sad? You're going to have to go to war? Are you sad that potentially you may not come back from war?" And those emotions got stronger.
Yeah.
When I was asking those questions, I never got any direct responses as such, but the emotions that I was feeling just kept on getting stronger. Again, I will add, is that it couldn't be my own mind thinking about that situation. It's like, you know, there's that, you could go to war and then you might not come back. You know, so there's two instances. I personally think myself that I think a ghost or a spirit can project their thoughts or emotions on you. Whether they can actually possess you as such, I'm not so sure on. Not saying it doesn't happen, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. It's just our opinions, folks. I mean, my opinion is that ghosts don't possess people at all, but possibly demons do. And if you're dealing with demons, you're dealing with something very different to ghosts. So that's how I've always felt about it. You know?
Yeah.
Touch wood, which in itself is a very old saying. I'll tell you where that comes from in a minute if you like. Touch wood, I've never encountered a demon as far as I know. If I have, they've not revealed themselves to me.
I haven't either.
So,
I think all I've really experienced is possibly like a negative. When I say negative, probably angry kind of spirit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a demon in any way, shape, or form.
No. But yeah, it's just something that came to my mind that I wanted to have a chat with you about. Yeah. So, quite interesting. Anything on your mind you wanted us to talk about?
Ooh. Well, there's so much different stuff to do with paranormal I'd like to talk about. Whether I can think of something right now.
One thing.
Yes.
We do a great channel, I think. We try and do a really good channel. We talk about paranormal stuff. And we get the most comments about Dave saying when we were in the car we looked like two Mr. Incredibles. I am not his father.
No.
All right. He called me. He looked like two Mr. Incredibles, and I was what was it, Father Incredible or something like that. And you were the son.
Well, to be fair, I'm going bald. You're bald. I didn't have my beard then. I shaved that off. We're pretty big guys. It just looked like two Mr. Incredibles in the car.
Did make me laugh. Lots of people commented on that, so thank you.
It was only telling the truth.
No. It's funny, we've both got very small cars for the size of people that we are. But, I mean, I do have another family car, which we use if we go out, but that's my little works car. So it's usually just me sat in it. But with Dave in it as well, it was quite cramped in there.
We have been on some adventures in that car. I can tell you that now. So, I got something. Because I want to talk about it. Okay, so one investigation which I'm really looking forward to doing at some point, probably won't be this year, but I want to get your thoughts on.
Yeah.
Knowing I've been there 4 times.
Right.
It's Grovely Woods.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know much about Grovely Woods. Okay. I sometimes find if I go and I start reading up about it, I get a preconceived idea of what to expect when I get there, and I sometimes think, does that influence what I hear, see, feel? So I've purposely kept my knowledge on Grovely Woods very, very sketchy to see what we get when we get there.
I know what's coming.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But the last investigation I did there, I mean, I went there for a walk around, which is on our channel.
Yeah.
Back when we were in lockdown, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the investigation we went before, they did not disappoint.
Yeah.
How? I mean, I went in there really skeptic because I was going into a wood and all that kind of stuff. Didn't disappoint me at all.
No. Good.
So I just wanted to ask you because it's one investigation that I'm actually really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Probably won't get a chance to do it before Christmas.
Well, who knows? I mean, with us, it all tends to sort of go random, doesn't it? Suddenly we can't work out any time we can get because we're both working and we're both busy, and then all of a sudden we end up with a weekend where we've got a Saturday and a Sunday free, each of us, and we suddenly can cram loads in at a weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah,
but yeah, I am purposely just keeping away from looking into it until I've been there.
Just when you come, when we go, just remember to bring a small gift.
Okay. Chocolates?
No, just like I don't know, like a trinket.
A ribbons type thing.
Yeah, ribbon.
Yeah. So I used to do a bit of geocaching. I don't know if you know what geocaching is.
Yeah.
So I've got a little box of bits and pieces that I used to leave in geocaches. So I'll bring some bits like that with some ribbon and stuff attached to it. Little silver ball.
That'd be a good investigation. Well, there's me like going. Could be a really good investigation. We might not actually get anything, but
yeah,
that place hasn't disappointed me in the 2 times I've been there investigating. So
yeah. And I think it would be good to go, like you suggested earlier, back up to Coombe Now we've got necrophonics.
Yes.
And try necrophonics up there, because there was a bit of a vibe to that place, but we really didn't get anything at all. It might be different with necrophonics. I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just, like I said, the necrophonics account always if I bring the SLS, if I bring my SLS camera again, it'll track the, it'd be just interesting. Yeah. With the more gadgets that we got.
Well, we wouldn't go up there. I don't think we'd go up there and do a full investigation again, but we could go up there and do, half an hour up there of just seeing what we get with necrophonics, just for a bit of an update on it, maybe.
Yeah, but Coombe one of those investigations you only really want to do during the summer.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's going to be pretty
bloody cold if it's blowy up there. Yeah,
I think it'd be pretty cold up there.
Well, 10 minutes will be enough out there.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but apart from that,
So how are you getting on with the home investigation then? Because you've done a.
I've been threatening to do one.
Yeah, how far have you got? You've done some of it, haven't you?
I think I've done 4 parts.
Yeah.
And it kind of went quiet. It kind of tapered off. And then, not last week, when I did that little trial live on YouTube, 2-3 days beforehand, things were just starting to just kind of pick up, and then they kind of just tapered off again. Yeah. So I was going to investigate that kind of weekend. And it just felt like there was nothing there. Yeah. So I decided not to do it. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for that kind of energy to build, and once that builds, it kind of gives me a timeline of when I'm going to investigate. Because I was going to do it this week. Yeah. But it just doesn't feel like there's anything there. It just doesn't feel
like it's there.
Like it's there at this moment. But at the end of the day, I might have a go just a weekend. Maybe for half an hour. Yeah. And see what happens.
That'd be cool.
Not necessarily weekend, Friday, maybe.
And a really easy thing that I wanted to do, so just out the back of us here where we live, obviously there's the remnants of an old henge, and as you know, the archaeologists came probably a couple of years ago now, the last visit. And there's a burial site, Saxon burial site, just in the field, just behind us here.
That's right.
Just there. I know exactly where it is. Ooh. I was there when they dug it. They found arrowheads. Right. Yeah. And there was a skeleton in the bottom.
Is that really?
A skeleton is still there. They've covered it all back over. But obviously it's Saxon. It's just in the middle of a field. But yeah, I went and had a look when they were doing it. So I know exactly where it is, and I thought that would be interesting, just to see if we get anything from that. Yeah. I'm not sure. Do you think this is relevant, right? Because I always think this. If you're investigating a spirit from a time when there was nothing like the gadgets that we have, like necrophonics and all this stuff that we have, even your what's it phone, your dictaphone thing that we use.
Spirit box.
Anything. There would have been nothing like that in Saxon times, would there? No. I know it might be sound stupid, but how would they have any idea about that type of stuff.
Really interesting, isn't it?
How would they...
Even that thought comes across my mind quite a lot.
You know, even when we're talking going back perhaps 100 years, you know?
Yeah.
Go back 100 years and we're pre-internet, we're pre-mobile phones. How do they understand what to do?
I don't know. That is my honest answer. I just don't know. But the one thing I do know is that they either learn really quickly,
Yeah.
or
See, maybe, I mean, again, just supposition, just something, but maybe the spirit is sort of floating around out there somewhere in the ether, and it does learn, like you said, it does see what's happened, how the world has progressed. Maybe they are able to see that.
It's a good theory, because if a ghost from, say, 300 years ago, or a spirit from 300 years ago is still around now,
Yeah.
must have seen the changes, because
Yeah.
they must be somewhat aware
Yeah.
of what's happened.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So,
And the other thing I always think is, what if they're there all the time? What is it that we can do or that we do that makes them come forward? Is it just the very fact that we're acknowledging that they're there and we're saying, if there's anyone here, come out and talk to us or come and speak to us?
do you want my honest opinion on that?
I do. Yeah.
If it was me, okay, I just wouldn't want to be forgotten.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, I just wouldn't want to be forgotten. If I had the capabilities to communicate with somebody,
Yeah.
or people, after I've passed, in my head, my way of thinking, that would make me. It'd still be my little connection to.
Yeah. So in a way, we're back to talking about, are they a being of some type? You know, an ethereal being or a spiritual being, but there is a something there, if you know what I mean. It's
like we said in that podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We are made up of energy.
Yeah.
Like a spark in your heart, whichever. We are made up of some sort of energy, and it must go somewhere.
Yeah.
It has to go somewhere. I mean, it might be me being naive, but you know, I just truly believe that. Yeah, okay, there's going to be that point where my body dies.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest with you, I don't ever want to happen, but I know it's inevitable.
Well, it's coming to all of us, whether we want it or not.
And I just want to. I truly believe, and I'm hoping that my energy, my spirit, will just be released.
Yeah.
And I can still kind of have some sort of connection to the living, whether it is communicating through one of these devices.
Yeah.
Whether it's just knocking on a wall just to say that I'm there.
I suppose it sort of really gets to the essence of why we do it, because we do want to know, are they still able to communicate? Are they still around? Are they still sort of compos mentis? Are they able to understand that we're here living, they're no longer living in the way that we're living, but maybe they are in an existence somewhere elsewhere.
Some sort of existence. Just that loose connection to the living.
Yeah.
Even if it is this kind of, you know, knocking on a door, or moving or making a cat wall move, or just even you could slightly hear my voice through a digital recording.
It also makes me think as well, and I'm not saying this for comment value either. It's like when we go and we try and communicate with them, they sort of, we call it, maybe they come forward and they try to talk. What are they doing the rest of the time? Are they just all milling around together? If they're real, what are they doing out there? Is there some sort of place? It's like when we go to North Newton Church. Let's just say there's, I don't know, 100 spirits are there.
Yeah.
What are they doing whilst we're not contact with us? Are they all sort of just there because they're all from different ages, different time periods, different backgrounds, men, women, children, probably animals? What do they? It's just part of the
Yeah,
wonderment for me.
yeah.
What do they get up to?
Yeah, but which is something I'd like to know as well.
So it's partly why we did the investigations to just.
And to be fair, it's not a bad question to ask in an investigation.
No, possibly not. What do you do with your time when you know?
Yeah.
I guess everybody thinks they're just sort of floating around sort of thing, but
it's a good question.
I mean, if I became a spirit, I think I'd get pretty bored of just floating around.
They might be reliving stuff that they used to do.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I guess maybe it ties in then with the theories that bricks and mortar, stone, that type of thing retains some form of energy, and what you're seeing, what you're seeing is not a real being, but it's a recording, if you like. It's a recording of something in the past. So, but then for me, that doesn't tie in with the fact that we're trying to communicate and we're getting responses. That couldn't happen if it's a recording, could it? We would just be hearing, watching something play out, if that was the way.
Pub investigations are a classic example for like the stone tape theory, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I've investigated quite a few pubs.
I know you have.
Quite a few. Paranormal investigations.
Oh.
So, and we've been into these pubs, and some investigations we get quite a lot. And then some of the investigations we've been into got hardly anything. But you get the odd little bit, so to speak. So in my head it was just like, okay, something happened there that we can't explain. In my head, I reckon it was the pub just releasing a certain energy or memory at that time, and we were just there at the right time at the right place.
I mean, it makes sense that places do somehow retain some sort of an energy of past events, because if you ever visit like battlegrounds and places like that, there's a real somber feeling. I remember going into I'm not sure if it's not a cathedral, but in Tewkesbury there's an abbey, big abbey, and I lived up in Tewkesbury for a while, and I remember just one day myself and Kathy just went out for a walk, and we thought, we'll go and have a little visit, because it's a real historical place. My God, the minute we stepped foot in there, I just felt overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed, and I didn't really know any of the history of the place. I knew a little bit about history, but I hadn't read. And as we walked round, I read up a little bit on what was going on, and there was one time when I can't remember which sides it was, but there was a massive war up there, the War of the Roses, wasn't it? So it was the Roundheads and the God, I can't think of the other ones.
I'm not sure.
No, I can't remember. History's quite interested in history, but sometimes I go a bit blank. But anyway, one side or the other basically seeked out sanctuary in that building, and the monks brought them in and said they would receive sanctuary and they'd be safe in there. But the opposing army, I think it was the Cromwellians, came in and slaughtered the whole lot of them in the church.
And you got a vibe from that, right?
It just felt horrific in there.
Do you think that could be like parasuggestion to a certain point?
I didn't know anything. Like I've said to you before, quite often when you walk into an old church, something like that, you get a vibe immediately, don't you? Like North Newton.
Yeah.
It was like that, only even darker. It really felt sinister in there. Yeah. And it felt, and once I realised what had happened there, it all made sense. Yeah. But without knowing, I sensed it straight away. And I know sometimes you can go on a battlefield walk or something like that, where there was a lot of people who died in horrible circumstances. And you get that same type of feeling. You just think, oh God, the suffering and the pain that people must have gone through in here, the terror they must have been in. Somehow that imprints itself into, I don't know whether it's the stone or the very air around the place,
Around just in general. Spilt on blood. Spilt blood.
I don't know, but you certainly get that feeling with some places.
Can you imagine what it'd be like though if it was slaughtered? The amount of death, the slaughter, the pain.
Yeah.
The amount of emotions that were going on
Yeah.
at any one time
It must
on any
must be-
battlefield.
Well, yeah.
On any battlefield.
Thank God we've never had to experience anything
No.
like that. I certainly haven't. I don't think you have.
No, I haven't.
And I hope we never have to. I mean,
No.
but yeah, it must have been terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
So I can quite imagine that a lot of the emotions there probably got absorbed by, like you said, the stone.
Yeah.
And that's just one side of it. I mean, you got restless spirits.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people weren't ready to die.
No, I don't think any of these people were ready. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah.
It just felt
Anger.
ominous, yeah, and there was an anger
Yeah.
there. As soon as I walked around it, that feeling,
Yeah.
it's like there's 1,000 angry people around me.
Yeah.
You know?
And I can imagine it being quite overwhelming.
It was. It really was in there. There's one. Maybe we'll have a trip up there one day because we can have a little walk around there.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can see if you feel anything up there.
Yeah, I probably will.
Your sort of question I've been thinking of are things that have been interesting me.
Yep.
When we investigate,
Yep.
do you think when you start to feel a little bit on edge,
Mm-hmm.
that has an effect on the investigation?
Yes.
Do you think that causes things to happen?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it necessarily causes things to happen. Is it in past experience from some of the investigations I've done in the past, me being on edge has made my senses a little bit more heightened and a little bit more aware.
Yeah.
And say like, okay, so say if we me and you right now
Yeah.
went to the farmhouse.
Yeah.
Okay, like we are right now, just relaxed and all that kind of stuff. We go in there, start investigating. Not a huge amount happens to start off with. You kind of stay in that relaxed state, and then a series of certain things start to happen.
Yeah.
Whether it's knocks, whether you hear tapping, whether you get a response from on the necrophonic sound,
Yeah.
something along those lines, or a cat ball going off.
Yeah.
You get a series of events that all kind of tie in together.
Yeah.
You kind of changes your thought pattern, and your senses become a little bit more aware and a little bit more heightened.
Yeah.
Where then you can start to sense, well, for me anyway, I can start to sense a bit more. I become a bit more in tune. I become a lot more serious to what I'm doing. You know, that's my theory anyway on it. I mean, I've done. I know I said in the live, somebody asked us and said, "Have I ever been scared at all?" There's, the early days of me investigating. Yeah, there's been a few occasions where I actually got scared.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just started doing investigating. I just went into this building to look for ghosts, and when a little noise happened and all that kind of stuff, I did feel a bit, oh my god, what's going on? Kind of thing. So, but after that, you become like this. Like the best way I can describe it is a meerkat when it stood up for attention. You're just like that.
Yeah.
What was that noise? What was that noise?
Yeah.
What was that noise?
You hear everything. So your senses are heightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That's cool. And another thing that's been on my mind.
Yep.
So we were talking about like stone theory, about stones retaining information. Plants.
Right.
Animals. I mean, do they hold some of that information? Is it worth seeing what reaction you get from plants around these things?
I can't comment too much on the plants side of it. I know there are people that talk to plants.
Yeah.
And to be fair, plants are a living organism and all that kind of stuff, and so on and so on. And whether they retain energy, I can't honestly tell you. And that's my honest, just my honest opinion.
See, I've seen a couple of things about plants, and people have done experiments where they put plants, and they'll have one plant that they show lots of love to and they're kind to it, and then they'll have another plant that they give nothing to, and then one that they treat badly, or they maybe threaten it or cut a leaf on it, and there's a noted difference in the growth rates of those plants. The one that's been nurtured and loved and talked to and looked after seems to do really well. The one that's in fear, they reckon virtually just shrivels up and dies,
Right.
and the one that gets nothing doesn't. It grows, but it doesn't grow as well as the one that's been given all the extra attention. So
Right.
they must be. If that experiment is correct, and obviously it's something I watched on YouTube the other night. I'm not verifying it. I'm just saying I saw it. But if it's correct, let's suppose for a minute it's factual and it's right, then those plants must be having not feelings, but they must be absorbing the type of energy. They must be feeling that love energy. They must be feeling that hatred energy, that nasty energy. And the one with nothing is getting nothing, but it can still survive.
Right.
So.
Right.
Come on.
Now, you know I'm a gardener.
Yeah. Come on then.
This is my job. This is my
Okay.
career.
Okay.
Okay. So I do know a little bit about what you're talking about as such.
Yeah.
And this is the way it works with any kind of plant.
Okay.
If you treat a plant badly,
Yeah.
if you fail to maintain it, all that, or look after it, it's going to struggle.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will struggle. It's just the natural way. But if you look after a plant, like you said, talk to plants. I know plenty of people that talk to plants and all that. People that talk to plants, and you look after it. You make the right cuts on plants, which is the key thing.
Yeah.
You know, as a gardener, it's I'm quite passionate about this bit because it's my job. So, and all that kind of stuff. It will do a lot better.
Right.
And it will do a lot better. Do plants have feelings? Yeah, I mean they're a living long. I mean you have to understand it's like with trees.
Yeah.
If you cut or prune trees wrong way, they
Yeah.
do not like it in any way, shape, or form.
No.
In any way. So here's a classic example. This year we had that hot spell.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff, and the leaves in August started to fall off the trees.
Yeah.
That was a defense mechanism for the tree.
Yeah.
So, because it wasn't getting any water, to try and instead of trying to sustain the greenness in the leaves,
Yeah.
they decided to drop the sap.
Everything off. Yeah.
And then when it rains, obviously, and all that. So yeah, they do absorb feelings. When they absorb like
Yeah.
normal stuff, I
don't know.
honest opinion, I say no, because any plant, if you treat a plant bad, it is going to perform badly.
Yeah.
But if you treat a plant good, and like you said, give it some love, some nurture, even talk to it, it's going to do all right.
So as a bit of an experiment, we might take a plant with us on an investigation and just see if we notice any differences to it.
I wouldn't say anything necessarily is going to happen on the investigation.
Maybe not, but it's worth a try, isn't it?
Give it.
So animals, then. I mean, we've all seen out there. I've certainly seen animals respond to things when I've not been able to see something. Yet the animal, the dogs specifically, for me, have definitely sensed or seen something going on that I'm unaware of. Have you ever experienced anything of that?
Once.
Yeah.
Just the once. Yeah, just the once. Our cat,
Yeah.
years ago, went so sketchy one night. What happened once?
Yeah.
And this is in the house where I'm investigating. Right
Yeah.
now. And it went really sketchy. And when I say sketchy, it went sketchy.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be touched. It was looking at a certain point in the room. And come near it. It was reacting to something.
So, you remember when we had the ship, the pub, the ship in Uphaven? We had a couple of dogs there, an American bulldog and a Staffordshire bull terrier. And as we used to do one night, when everybody had gone home, we were sat there tilling up and just generally finishing off the night, and both the dogs were down in the bar. And all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, they were looking into a corner of the ship, and it's that corner that you were talking about, where the window is.
Really?
And all their heckles came up, and they were both like staring into space. And we were just sat there. We were actually having a drink and just say doing the till and finishing up the night. And we just watched them, and we could see nothing. There was no reason that we could see that. There certainly wasn't another animal or anything there. There was nothing that we could see, but they had obviously picked up on something, and they could sense something was there.
Yeah.
They were virtually on guard. That was what they were doing. One of them was sort of a low growl starting to come, and you're thinking, what can you see? And we virtually had to sort of snap them out of it, snap your fingers and come on, you two. And then once you snapped them out of it, they were fine. They just went back to normal. But they kept sort of looking, glancing over there, and you think, do they have that sense? Can they see and sense more than we can?
Yeah, I reckon they got some.
I think they possibly can.
Got some pretty good senses.
Yeah.
Probably see a lot more than what we get.
Yeah.
A lot more.
So one last thing to talk about. Probably not far from us, we've got Glastonbury Tour in Glastonbury, where they have all the festivals. Quite a spiritual place, Glastonbury. I've been there quite a few times. I thought that should be somewhere we perhaps take a visit to soon as well. Take a look around the old part of the town. There's some really old buildings there.
Yep.
And go up to the Tor, right up on top of the hill. So Glastonbury is steeped in legend, Arthurian legend. There's the old monastery, which we can walk around and just have a little wander around that and see if we get anything out there.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Something you'd like to do?
I'd give that a go.
Yeah, I think that would be a.
I've only been there once in my whole life, so.
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times, but I've never done any type of an investigation there. So the old abbey there, which is in ruins, obviously that was destroyed when Henry VIII basically started destroying all of the churches and abbeys, and that was one that was virtually demolished. But there's still the remnants of it. There's still part of it standing.
Yeah.
That might be interesting to wander around and maybe try out a couple of the apps there, see if we get anything at all.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So
Another
investigation that we're thinking of. So if that's something you'd like to see us do, just pop something in the comments box if it's something you'd like to see, and we'll put that one out there for the future.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we've had enough of a chat, Dave, don't you? I think we've talked for quite a while. Had an interesting evening. Probably time to say goodnight to these lovely people.
It is.
So I'll just finish up by saying thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our little chat tonight. Nothing special. We just wanted to have a catch up. It's nice for us just to sit and have a chat about what we could be doing over the coming weekend, what we're going to be doing over the coming weeks.
It just gives you a bit more of an insight into us as well.
Yeah.
How we think, and how we work, and
So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Good night.
See you later, all. Bye bye.